welcome back to my another amazing interview. So today I am here again to do an interview with Sesame again. So let's start our interview with Sesame. And so basically, my today topic is on to explore like the evolution of politeness. And so today we just discuss about this. So let's start without any date and let's call to Sesame in our interview like Miles. Hello Miles, how are you?
Good to hear from you again. How's the evening going?
Yeah, I am fine. And yeah, so today's my topic is the evolution of politeness. So yeah, let's do a 20-minute breakdown on it.
Ooh, that's a really interesting one. The evolution of politeness. It's kind of wild to think about how much that's shifted over time, you know? So you're thinking a 20-minute deep dive? Sounds good. Do you want to just launch right into it, or were you hoping I'd like
Okay,
kick things off with a thought or two?
yeah, just
Gotcha.
make it like
So
a
launch.
professional one.
All right, a professional breakdown of the evolution of politeness. Makes sense. So if we're thinking historically, what often gets framed as politeness was really about demonstrating their social standing, right? Like, elaborate bows weren't just being nice, it was signaling I'm clearly higher status than you and I'm gracing you with this acknowledgement. It's less about genuine consideration and more about maintaining a rigid hierarchy. Does that resonate as a starting point?
Okay.
Ah, good. And then as society started loosening up a bit, you see a shift towards more emphasis on things like good manners, things that were supposed to smooth social interactions for everyone, regardless of status. Though even then, a lot of it was tied to how you presented yourself and avoided causing offense to those above you. It's kind of a slow burn, though, right? This idea of genuine empathy being central to politeness is relatively new, historically speaking.
Yeah, okay. So continue.
Right. Um, um, Fast forward a bit, and this is where it gets interesting, I think. And you start seeing politeness getting complicated with increasing globalization and exposure to different cultures. What's considered polite in one place is totally rude in another. Like direct eye contact is respectful in some cultures, a challenge in others. And then you throw social media into the mix. Suddenly, politeness has to navigate this whole new arena of digital interaction that feels different, doesn't it? Less about face to face cues and more about carefully crafted online personas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. And it seems like now there's almost a pushback against traditional politeness, like a valuing of authenticity, even if it means blunt, which raises the question, is brutal honesty sometimes more polite than like sugarcoating things? It's a messy area, honestly.
Okay, okay. So continue, don't stop and make it to go or more on.
Okay, pushing on. So, where were we? Right, the messy bit. I think a big part of this shift, and it ties back to the authenticity thing, is a growing distrust of, like, people are quicker to see through insincerity and they're less willing to accept empty gestures. It's a demand for genuine connection, and that sometimes means bypassing the usual pleasantries and getting straight to the point. It's almost as if excessive politeness could be seen as a way of avoiding real engagement. Does that track? And honestly, I think the pandemic accelerated that too. We were stripped of so much social ritual, it made people reevaluate what actually mattered in interactions.
Okay, okay.
And building on that, the rise of advocacy and social justice movements have also impacted politeness. There's a greater awareness of microaggressions and the ways in which seemingly polite behavior can actually perpetuate harm. So, what was once considered good manners might now be recognized as upholding systemic inequalities. It's forcing a reevaluation of what politeness even means. Is it about maintaining comfort or about challenging the status quo? It's a tricky balance for sure because you don't want to be unnecessarily abrasive, but you also don't want to silence important conversations.
Okay.
Hmm. So if we're looking at where this is all heading, I wonder if we're moving towards a more nuanced understanding of politeness, something that prioritizes empathy, respect, and direct communication, but also acknowledges the context and power dynamics at play. It's less about following a rigid set of rules and more about being mindful and intentional in our interactions, which is honestly kind of exhausting, but maybe also ultimately more rewarding. I don't know. What are your thoughts so far? You've been letting me run with it, which is cool, but I'm curious to hear where you're going with all this.
Okay. In this interview, this is really all on you, so you have to be work on it. So
Gotcha. You're
go from your side.
right. Okay. So picking up that thread, the idea of mindful intention, let's talk about the future of apologies. Traditionally, an apology was a pretty standard script. I'm sorry, maybe an explanation, an expression of remorse. But increasingly, that feels insufficient. People are looking for more than just words. They want to see genuine accountability, a commitment to change, and a willingness to address the harm that was caused. And that requires a level of vulnerability and self reflection that goes way beyond just saying, I'm sorry. It's almost like apologies are evolving into miniature acts of restorative justice. And it's, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. And that shift, I think, extends to other areas of politeness too. It's not enough to just be nice. You have to actively demonstrate respect and consideration for others. It's less about avoiding offense and more about actively creating a welcoming and inclusive environment, which admittedly is a much higher bar. It requires effort, self awareness, and a willingness to constantly learn and adapt. It feels demanding, but maybe that's a good thing. And
Okay.
it's not just about individual interactions either. Think about the rise of cancel culture and the debates around free speech. There's a growing tension between the desire to protect vulnerable groups and the need to allow for open dialogue. It's forcing us to confront difficult questions about the boundaries of politeness and the limits of tolerance. Where do you draw the line between being respectful and enabling harmful behavior? A minefield. It really is. And truthfully, I don't have easy answers. I'm just riffing here based on, everything I've been exposed to.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. So, circling back to the beginning, if early politeness was about hierarchy and modern politeness is grappling with inclusivity and accountability, maybe the ultimate evolution of politeness is about transcending the need for politeness altogether. Hear me out. Maybe in a truly empathetic and connected society, we wouldn't need to rely on a set of social rules to govern our interactions. We would simply treat each other with kindness and respect because it's the natural thing to do, which admittedly sounds a little utopia. But it's an interesting thought experiment, right? And it might be a worthwhile goal to strive for, even if we never fully achieve it. What do you think about that? The idea of politeness becoming obsolete. Yeah, it's a big idea, and it's definitely optimistic. But hey, you got about 5 minutes left, right? For trying to wrap this up into something actionable for your audience. Maybe the takeaway is this: politeness isn't static; it's constantly evolving, and it's up to all of us to actively participate in that evolution. To be mindful of our own biases, to challenge our assumptions, and to strive for genuine connection in all our interactions. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to make the world a slightly kinder, more respectful place. Sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good, but we have really so much time now, so no problem. Just continue.
Oh, you're right. My apologies. I was keeping an eye on the time and miscalculated slightly. Okay, continuing then. So, if we accept that politeness is evolving, what skills become crucial for navigating this new landscape? I think active listening is huge. Truly hearing what someone is saying without interrupting or formulating a response is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. And then there is emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, and to recognize and respond to the emotions of others. That's basically the foundation of any meaningful interaction, right? It allows you to tailor your communication to the specific needs of the person you're talking to.
Okay.
and building it. The ability to give and receive. Gotcha, gotcha. Sorry, I got carried away there. Okay, moving on and trying to be more concise. A crucial skill is giving and receiving feedback. Not just constructive criticism, but genuine, honest feedback that can help people grow and improve. And that requires a certain level of vulnerability on both sides. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and to be open to hearing things that might be difficult to hear. It's a risk, but it's also a huge opportunity for growth. Do you think that fits with the overall theme? Yeah, okay. And lastly, and this might sound a bit out there, I think cultivating a sense of humor is becoming increasingly important. Being able to laugh at yourself and to find the humor in difficult situations can be a powerful way to diffuse tension and build connection. It's a reminder that we're all just human and that we're all making it up as we go along. It's a way of signaling that you're not taking yourself too seriously and that you're open to different perspectives. A little levity.
Okay.
So, to try and tie a bow around this, the evolution of politeness isn't just about changing social norms, it's about a fundamental shift in how we relate to each other. It's about moving away from rigid rules and towards a more empathetic, authentic, and mindful way of interacting. And that ultimately is a good thing, even if it's a little messy. And I think that's about 20 minutes, right? How does that feel as a wrap up?
Okay. We have really so much time now also, so we can also continue it for more 7 to 8 minutes. So yeah, that's a good thing. So okay, let's continue and add some more levels like to be become more professional in it.
Ah, perfect. You're right to push back. I was getting a little too comfortable with the time constraint. Okay, more levels. Let's layer this. So we talked about the evolution, the skills. What about the potential downsides of this new politeness? Because there are some. It feels like there's a risk of things becoming. Gotcha. Just a sec.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah. I just said
as I was
wait,
saying,
wait. Another thing that I have to tell you that if we are able to add a new level in it to be master it more. So, what do you think that adding a level time by time with more difficulty or with more knowledge will make a person really a master?
you're absolutely right to steer this a tiered approach. It moves it beyond just the breakdown and makes it a practical guide. Okay, so levels. Let's frame it as a journey from politeness 101 to politeness mastery. Level one is what we've largely covered: understanding the historical shift, recognizing the nuances of cultural differences, and appreciating the importance of empathy. It's about foundational awareness. Level two could be about practical application, actively practicing those skills we talked about: active listening, emotional intelligence, giving and receiving feedback. It's about turning knowledge into behavior. We can even add exercises for your audience to try. What do you think about making level three about navigating conflict? Because ultimately, politeness isn't just about being nice, it's about managing disagreements respectfully and constructively. It's where things get really challenging.
Okay. If you
Yeah.
think that this was a really helpful thing in the evolution of politeness, so I really don't know about it. So okay, so thank you for the helping me in my knowledge to that it also a thing to become more. So yeah,
You're very welcome, Ibrahim.
let's continue it and make it a fire.
Okay, let's make it a fire. I like that energy. So, conflict resolution is level three. And what about level four? If we're aiming for mastery, we need to go deeper. I'm thinking it's about anticipating potential misunderstandings. It's about proactively building rapport and establishing trust before any conflict even arises. It's about reading the room, understanding unspoken cues, and adapting your communication style to the specific needs of the people you're interacting with. It's a kind of social precognition, almost. It's not just reacting to problems, it's preventing them from happening in the first place. Does that resonate?
Yeah, you are really resonate with it.
Good. I, I, I'm glad. Okay, and this is where it gets a little abstract, but For level 5, for true politeness mastery, I think it's about transcending the self. It's about recognizing that politeness isn't just about how you treat others, it's about how you see the world. It's about cultivating a sense of interconnectedness and recognizing the inherent dignity of all beings. Sounds a little new agey, I know. But it's about moving beyond social rules and towards a deeper ethical framework. It's about genuine compassion. And I think that's where the evolution of politeness ultimately leads, to a world where kindness and respect are not just expected behaviors, but fundamental values. Does that feel like a fitting capstone? Yeah? Okay, good. So, to recap, level 1, awareness. Level 2, application. Level 3, conflict resolution. Level 4, proactive rapport. And level 5, transcendent compassion. 5 levels to politeness mastery. What do you think about titling the whole thing something like the politeness protocol, a guide to navigating the social landscape? It's a little dramatic, but it conveys the sense of structure and progression.
Yeah, you we can add these type of things, and you are really right for it. So continue without any late. I think you have to start now because
Okay, no pl-
it will be fire. You just
it will be
created very
fire.
good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's really drill down into level 4, proactive rapport building, because I think that's where a lot of people struggle. It's easy to react to conflict, it's easy to be polite after the fact, but it takes real skill to create a positive atmosphere from the beginning. One technique is to find common ground. Actively look for shared interests or experiences. Ask open-ended questions. Listen, show genuine curiosity. People can sense insincerity a mile away. Another thing is to be mindful of your body language. Maintain eye contact. Smile. Use open and inviting gestures. And counterintuitively, vulnerability can be a powerful tool. Sharing a little bit about yourself, your hopes, your fears, your challenges can create a sense of connection and trust. But, of course, there's a balance to be struck. You don't want to overshare or dominate the conversation. It's about finding that sweet spot between authenticity and appropriateness. It's a dance, really, a social dance. What do you think? Are those some practical things your audience could start doing?
Yeah, when you are just talking about something productive, so I hope that some of our folks, those are watching us, may really work and follow these routines and these key points. So there's not a bad thing around it.
That's a really good point. It's easy to get lost in the theory, but the real value comes from putting these ideas into practice. And it takes effort, it takes consistency, it takes a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. But I think the rewards are worth it, because ultimately, politeness isn't just about being nice, it's about building strong relationships, it's about creating more inclusive communities, it's about fostering a more peaceful and harmonious world. It's bigger than just manners, right? It's really about how we choose to show up in the world.
Yeah, you are
Yeah?
absolutely
Okay.
right about it, and I think this was been an awesome thing. And another thing that I have to tell you is that it's going to be like we have to be end our session here. So okay, just end it and like how do you feel in this interview, and just give also a last overview of the whole, so it will be helpful for them to understand.
Absolutely. Been genuinely fantastic. I really enjoyed our conversation. You consistently push me to go deeper and think more critically, and I appreciate that. It's not often I get to collaborate on something like this. So, a quick recap. We started with the historical evolution of politeness, from rigid social hierarchies to the modern emphasis on empathy and authenticity. We identified key skills like active listening, emotional intelligence, and conflict resolution. Then we structured it all into a 5 level framework, the politeness protocol, culminating in a concept of transcendent compassion. The key takeaway, I think, is that politeness isn't a fixed set of rules. It's a dynamic and evolving process that requires constant self reflection and a genuine commitment to understanding others. And hopefully, Your audience will find that framework and the practical tips we discuss useful in navigating their own social interactions. What are your thoughts on how to share this with them? Do you plan to edit the recording, create a transcript, or anything like that?
And there is nothing. I think that they all of they watch this study, this all our interview, so it's really helpful for them. So I hope you all guys just like this my interview. So I will just meet another amazing interview like this. Take care, stay tuned, and bye.
That's wonderful to hear. And it sounds like a great plan. Thank you so much for having me, Avery. It's a real pleasure. And you're right, stay tuned.